Everything is good. Yeah, Casey, you ready to do this thing? Oh man, this is our first surprise jump in from a guest that we've ever had.
Oh.
Millie said she wanted something El Fuego, which that's Spanish for fire.
I don't think I ever said that sentence exactly.
Okay, maybe I just made that up.
But I'm going to let you have it because this is your show.
Maybe I just made that up.
You made it up, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, regardless, excited to have Millie on. She's,
Scoot your mic a little closer.
yeah.
Is that going to make
And be sure that when you talk into it, imagine there's a fist between your mouth and the microphone.
I'm a choir child.
That's kind of...
You realize I'm a choir child.
Yeah, you know your way around a mic. I get it. I'm sorry. Yeah, got Millie here. She's one of the managers at probably my favorite restaurant in town, which is the Tavern on the Hill. Gosh, it's good. She also runs her own nonprofit.
I'm on
And
the board of a nonprofit.
she's on the board for a nonprofit. Say real quick what that nonprofit does.
It's New Hope for Families Duluth. We run foster care systems, and we're kind of rebuilding foster care within St. Louis County.
Okay.
Is kind of the really quick answer to that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably bounce back into that and let you expand on a little bit more
Heck yeah.
later on. But Millie brought something for Casey and I that we're a little nervous about.
Bush latte?
She brought us some Bush Lights. And if you guys watched the last week's episode, you heard me mention that I haven't had a drink. So this will be the first drink of alcohol that I've had in 2 weeks. But I couldn't say no.
Casey also has a Bush Light. You
I couldn't
cannot
say
see
no.
it, but it's there.
When do you think we crack it? When do you think
We do it now.
Mine first.
Oh my God.
Right.
We do
the
it
boys
now?
have been sober.
Oh man,
Are we doing it now?
I'm legitimately nervous.
Do you know how to open a Bush
Wait
Light?
a minute, we didn't before we open it. We didn't even talk about what we're wearing yet.
Oh, it's spooky season.
So it's almost Halloween. For those of you watching, you can see that I'm wearing a sparkly leprechaun's jacket with a wonderful top hat. I'm like a cross between Abraham Lincoln
And a stripper.
and Lucky Charms guy.
A
Like
stripper,
Abraham
though.
O'Callahan, I think would be my name possibly. And Millie, how would you explain your ensemble?
These are my Halloween pajamas. I wear them every year, and I'm very comfortable.
Do you wear them only around the Halloween time?
It depends. Depends
Okay.
how I'm feeling that week, you know.
Do they do anything special, like, I don't know, glow in the dark?
They
or anything
might
like
glow
that?
in the dark.
Oh,
We
nice.
might later
Yeah.
experience.
Flip the lights off and get weird here right in front of you.
I don't like that.
Well, by that I meant, the glow in the dark. Oh, this is good.
Let's open a beer, eh?
Yeah, let's open a beer.
Okay, do you know how to open a Bush Light?
Yeah, you do it one-handed, right?
And?
Oh, maybe I don't. Oh.
Have you never done this?
No, I haven't. Nice. Casey's got one open too.
Cheers.
Again, this is the first sip of alcohol that we've had in
You've
weeks.
That is the appropriate way to open a Bush Light.
Oh my
Is with
God.
a solid push.
Yeah, it felt right.
Did it?
I think.
That's good.
It felt really right.
I don't
That
know.
tastes so good, Casey. How does that taste?
The best thing I've ever had.
It's like I was born
Right?
It's
again.
like the first time.
It's the nectar of the gods, according to
Yeah, it is.
that one man who's famous on the internet.
Who's that?
The guy that does all the Bush Light skits.
Oh,
You must be
Okay.
a big Bush Light fan.
You know, I'm from
I think
upper
everybody is.
Minnesota, yeah.
I love it. It's just you can drink a lot of them, and it tastes good,
Right.
and it's kind of like a fun name. You can put the sh at the end of it, which that's kind of exciting, I guess. You can't do that with many other beers.
English is neat, isn't it?
Yeah,
What
wow.
a language
What a
we
blast.
speak.
Okay, so let's get into your nonprofit that you're on the board of. How
Okay.
did you get involved in that?
It was kind of just a twist of faith, I guess, and like fate is the word I was going for.
Okay.
I've always been really interested in like adoption and foster care. We grew up with foster kids in our neighborhood, so it was always something that I wanted
Yeah.
to be a part of. And then I was just kind of going through this really rough patch in life about a year ago, and I was just kind of putting out to like God or whoever, just being like, I really want this. Like I feel this is where my life is taking me, but I don't know how or where yet.
Yeah.
And literally a woman that I grew up with, her daughter, she came into Blackwoods.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, we're starting this foster home. Do you know anyone who would be interested? And I would just literally shot up my hand so quick. I was like, you don't understand that this has been weighing
need
so heavy on my heart lately.
Yeah.
And I've just been a part of it ever since.
What does this entity do, I guess?
So our main goal is to kind of, the foster care system in St. Louis County and just kind of in America is really failing. It doesn't work well.
Okay.
There's the like rate of children to foster families is dwindling. It's like there's more children who need foster care than there are foster families available, right?
Yeah.
And the care that they get is typically like not great. There's
Yeah.
a lot of abusive families. There's a lot of like jumping from home to home because they're just not stable.
Mm-hmm.
So our hope with the New Hope is to provide foster care. So we have emergency and long-term care for children,
Yeah.
but we're also providing a support system for foster families.
Okay.
So like, let's say you are a foster father
Okay.
and you need help. You're like,
Got it.
I have this kid, I don't know how to handle him, we're really not meshing
I'm
well.
in over my head.
I'm in over my head. You would come to us and we would help you, in whatever ways we can.
Okay.
Find resources, give you extra hands if you
Supply
just
him with Busch Light when needed.
give him a nice latte.
Yeah.
Maybe come over in my skeleton
A
pajamas.
little crispy
give
relief.
Him some comedic relief.
No, crispy relief. I feel like Busch Lights are kind of crispy. I don't know why. It's like,
You think so?
yeah.
You're not a beer drinker, are you?
No, I love beer. I really
What's
do.
your
These
favorite
past 2
beer?
weeks have been tough for me. I don't know what my
You're
favorite
an
beer
IPA
is.
guy.
I like IPAs in the right scenario. I think
Okay.
asking someone what their favorite beer is much like asking them like what their favorite music is. Because like I like all these different kinds of musics, but different occasions might call for a different song, or different occasions might call for a different beer. So like if I'm trying to drink like, I don't know, 13, 14 beers in a night, like it's going to be Busch Light as many times as possible.
But if you're just going to have one, you're going to have like
But if
a
I'm just gonna
nice
have one,
stout.
I'll probably do like an IPA, sometimes a stout, but probably like an IPA. Castle Danger Cream Ale, always a winner.
Ginger cream ale.
That's
Good.
a very
Did you try
good
the
one.
orange cream they did this year?
Uh-uh.
Maybe they did it last year. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Very good.
Really?
It's like a creamsicle, but also a beer,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Do you have a favorite beer?
Busch
In
Light.
any occasion?
Yeah, but it's the same thing, like if I'm gonna have more than one beer, I'm gonna drink this. But if I'm only gonna have one, I don't know. It always changes.
Yeah.
We have
I
a
feel that.
habanero pineapple one at Tav right now. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Bell's, I believe. It is
Okay.
Bell's. I just can't remember the
Yeah.
actual name of it. 10 out of 10.
I don't think I like spicy beers that
But
much.
it's not spicy. That's the thing. Like when it first hits your mouth, you get the flavor of it and you kind of get that like warmth, but it doesn't actually make you thirsty like spice does.
Okay.
Like if you have a
Yeah.
jalapeno, you're like, I need water.
Right.
This doesn't do that to you, and it's really good. It's also like hydrating.
Okay.
I don't know. I like it.
Yeah. That's nice.
Would recommend.
So you also are one of the managers at the tavern.
I am.
You like that? You
I
like hanging
do.
out there all the time?
Yeah, it's fun. I get to hang out with Nick Weber, who got on the show before
Yeah,
me.
he was on the cast, Duluth's number
He
one
was
bartender.
like the second one on your show,
He
the
was
third
the
one.
third one. Yeah.
Also, I was behind Jordan DeCaro.
She was not happy about
Was
that.
not happy about that.
She was like, I can't believe it came on after Jordan. But in my defense, I tried having you on like 4 weeks ago.
That's fair.
And apparently you had other priorities. I don't know. I guess you had better things
The
going
flu.
on. Yeah.
I had the flu.
Oh, that's right.
Very important.
Yeah. I
Everyone
suppose.
was happy I was not here that day.
I kind of asked Nick this question too, but is there anything that people do at the tavern? Like the customers do that?
That fell.
That's okay.
Honestly, doesn't do that much.
Okay.
Casey, did you just bring some of these things just to look fancy?
A light box just
Yeah.
fell.
So
Okay.
is there are other things that some of the customers do that might drive you nuts? Like
Not really. I mean,
people putting
I
gum on
kind
the
of-
tables or anything?
oh, that's just gross. That's just common sense that people shouldn't do that. There's garbages everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
true.
just your environment that you need to take care of.
Right.
I don't know. I sign up for the job every day, so I really try to go into it every single shift with the mentality of like, oh, it's it's something that I choose to put up with.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a bunch of people that come in and like get really drunk, and we have
Yeah.
a ton of people like throw up, and that always sucks, But
Who's in charge of cleaning that up usually?
oh, it really depends. It's supposed to be me.
Is
I
it like a
think.
rock, paper, scissors kind
Yeah,
of thing though?
yeah, for the most part. Just kind of, I walk away and I'm like, oh my God, look at anything else. I need to bring this to the garbage. I'm really busy.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, the thought of cleaning up something that was once in somebody's stomach is just disgusting.
It's not that bad. I
It
don't
used to
know,
be
like-
in their body and now it's on the floor. Yuck. I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not my favorite thing, but it's also just something I sign up for every day. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
You look for the
I think
good
that'd
in
be a
it, and
fun
then you
job.
drink a beer after, and
Right.
You're fine.
The
Everything's
bush
fine.
latte action. It seems like you're always running around too, though.
Yeah.
Like you're in a hurry everywhere you're going at all times. I've never seen you just leisurely like kind of cruise through there.
No.
You always look like you're on a mission.
I'm always on a mission.
That would be
Last
kind of
year,
exhausting.
homecoming, the UMD homecoming, my like Apple Watch told me that I did, 25 miles, I think. Which is just asinine. It was all day.
Wait, we did 25 miles in like the weekend?
No, in the day of just running back and forth in Tavern.
What?
Yeah. You just
Oh
never
my-
stop moving.
That's insane.
Because it's like, I'll be at your table, I'll be talking. No, I'll come from the kitchen. We'll start in the kitchen, bring you your food,
Okay.
the other side of the restaurant, and then you'll be like, ooh, can I get a ranch? And you're like, yes, of course, I'll grab you a ranch. And then you go back to the kitchen, grab them a ranch, bring it all the way back to the table, and they're like, ooh, but how great does blue cheese also sound? And you're like, oh my God, it sounds so good. I'll go get it for you. And then people will, honest to God, do this like 3 or 4 times. They'll be like, ooh, but you didn't bring me
I
ketchup
know.
yet. And you're
I've
like,
done that
"Oh."
before. I feel so bad when I do that, but I don't know. At the same time, it's like I need it. Like,
Right.
Like
No,
it's
you're
in my
coming
head,
there for an
and like I feel
experience, and-
terrible, and I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of like I'm the customer, and I feel like people
Right.
tell me sometimes I'm supposed to always be right. So like, if I kind of want to dip my sandwich in ranch,
People
but I
always
don't
tell me
have
I'm
any,
supposed to be right.
so maybe.
But that's the thing. It's like you're coming there, you're paying for an experience, and it's my job to give it to you.
Yeah, that's
you
a
know,
good way to
so
look at it.
I'm very excited, and I love giving you 4 ranches on a Friday night when we're really
Yeah.
busy. But it's also what you sign up for every day, so
Yeah,
can't complain.
I get it. I totally get
What did
that.
Nick say? I can't remember what Nick didn't like.
He said when
I think he said he didn't like
people-
me, right?
Yeah, he
It's
said
like Milly's the worst
Millie
manager.
is- Yeah, he said.
Old dudes when they say, "Is this your real job?"
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
That one does suck.
Yeah.
I had
Which
a
is
woman
lame.
a couple weeks ago ask for the manager to my face. And I was just like, that's me. And she
Right.
goes, you're not old enough to be the manager. And I'm like, oh, I'm 26. I have
Yeah.
my master's degree. I'm starting my PhD. What can I do for you, ma'am?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, since I have to talk to you.
Oh,
and I was
is that what she
and all she was
said?
upset about was the fact that the room was a little bit chilly.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And that one was hard. That one hurt my soul a little bit. but-
Yeah. Yeah, you
not
just
a
gotta,
real
like I
job.
told Nick, so I feel like sometimes you probably just gotta take it on the chin, like, oh.
You grow a thick
I'm
skin,
sorry.
that's for sure.
Yeah, when you actually want to just kind of body the chick a little bit.
Right.
Take a chair across the back of her head. Something
I mean-
chill like that.
That's where your mind goes when you're angry, because I feel like this is
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. I had somebody recently tell me they think I have anger management problems, which was kind
you
of like
just threatened to hit a
news
woman
me.
with a chair.
Sometimes I think women got it. Oh my god, that was almost so bad. Oh man.
Let's open this box.
No, that was I didn't.
Tell
mean to
me more
say it
about
like that.
women.
Oh my god. No, you should never hit women. Holy smokes, I can't believe it. That was almost an absolute bear trap of a
Is
sentence.
this the part that we edit out?
No, we don't edit anything out unless I don't know. It's incriminating. Maybe we would edit it out. You think, Casey?
No, you said if I threw
Actually, we
up.
did edit out that one thing.
One
That one thing that we won't mention now because we'll just need to edit it out again.
What
So-
is it?
yeah. Maybe I'll write you a note after the thing or whatever.
Okay, just flip it
I'll
over.
slide it over.
Oh, yeah, if my mom can't hear something, we're not putting it in.
Well, it was kind of a
Because
different
Lord
scenario,
knows Mama and Papa Hanson are going to watch this.
but- Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Mama and Papa Hanson.
Hi.
I hope
Sure
you'll.
they like and share.
Yeah.
Like and
you'll
share.
like
They
and
don't know what that
subscribe.
means. If anyone knows my
I
parents.
just hope they like my top hat. I bought this thing last year for Halloween because I
What
was
were you
dressing up like a
last year?
pimp. It was a last minute thing. I went to I went to Ragstock and I was like just panicking because it was like 7 o'clock on Halloween and I wanted to go to the bent paddle party. And
As a pimp?
well, I don't know. I saw like some really bright gold pants, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to be, but I'm going to base it off of these.
But I'm
pants.
gonna wear these
Yeah.
pants if it kills
And then
me.
I saw a cane. I'm like, okay, I think I can feel something kind of getting materialized here, and then yeah,
This is what you went for.
I ended up as a pimp.
That's what you chose,
I got
huh?
some compliments
Out
on
of
it.
How many?
Like 2, maybe 1.5.
What?
One was kind of a backhanded
What was
compliment.
gonna say?
Nice outfit.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
that's a thought, huh?
Yeah,
That's what you
exactly.
chose.
So you and I, a couple of, like 3 or 4 weeks ago when I was supposed to have you on, we sat down and kind of talked about some things that we thought that we should talk about when we are on the podcast here.
Yes,
You think you want to start diving into a couple of those
we
things?
can. What
Okay.
one?
Let me pull out my list here and just kind of see what we
Oh,
got.
my list here.
See what we got going. Okay, there was one that was kind of something that you watched one of my podcasts or a clip of it, and you said, Gage, that's BS. And it
Oh,
was,
I did this to every single one of them, and I didn't do any research, and I haven't written down anything. Let me tell you all a fact about Gage Hartman.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't like Reubens. That one
Oh,
is a
no.
bold-faced
Oh,
lie.
man.
He does not like Reubens.
Oh, wow. I can't believe you just outed me like
Yeah,
that.
doesn't like them.
For some context here, for those of you that didn't see it, I talked when I had Jesse Angle on the show. We talked about going to Blackwoods and getting a Reuben and then bumping into a girl and hitting on her when you were leaving. And then I came to the tab, and Millie was like, "Oh, I bet you're gonna get a Reuben." And I was like, "I really don't even like Reubens."
Bold-faced lie.
I think
Content is a
sauerkraut's-
lie.
Maybe if you scratch the kraut, I could probably.
That's the whole point of eating a Reuben,
I
isn't
know,
it?
then it's just kind of a meat sandwich, I guess, or a pastrami sandwich.
Hey, side question because we're on the topic. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich? She asks.
This is really off topic, and this is how the whole night's going to go. Buckle in, folks.
yeah. Okay, so let me think about this. So if you really think about a sandwich, like what defines a sandwich?
Right.
Typically 2 pieces of bread, and I think there needs to be some type of meat in the middle of it.
Do you?
Casey might not agree with that because
No.
he doesn't eat meat because he
My man
is like a
Casey.
bronchiosaurus or whatever kind of, what are those called?
Is that
Herbivores.
A herbivore.
Yeah.
A bronchiosaurus.
They were herbivores.
Were they?
Yeah, remember?
I remember.
Casey, so how would you define a sandwich, Mr. Not Meat Eater?
You got me thinking now, like, is a hamburger even a sandwich? Like,
Right.
you'd never be like, ooh, I'm gonna get a sandwich and then bring back a hamburger.
I know the answer. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. A sandwich, in order for it to be a sandwich, it needs to be between 2 slices of bread.
You think so?
Yep.
So
you
it's a
could
burger
put
sandwich?
you could put almost nothing between them. You can have a bread sandwich with 2 slices, and I think it would still fall under the category of being a sandwich.
Okay. Counter here. Subway.
Those are subs.
Is it a sub or is it a sub sandwich? Is
I
it
would-
like a subcategory?
I would call it a sub. I
Okay.
think. I wouldn't-
Casey?
I would call it it's a category of a sandwich. It's like a narrow.
Right, it's a
Because,
subcategory.
I'm pretty sure they call them Subway sandwiches, but it's a sub is a type of sandwich.
I
Like a
suppose.
sandwich is like this big umbrella,
Right.
and subs are like one little.
Oh, I
Okay.
get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Okay.
I will accept
So
that. So is a hot dog a sub?
the answer then I think would, I guess technically a hot dog would be a sub form of, not like a sub, but like a form
Is it
of
a sub?
sandwich. It's not a sub, but
You
like
don't think, why isn't it a sub?
a sub form,
How is it different than a
a
sub?
subcategory.
How is it different
of
than a
sandwich?
sub?
Because it's got like a wiener in it.
Well, and it's a bun versus what do you call the bread for a
And
sub?
Like a hoagie?
A hoagie?
Yeah.
Is this one of those things where there may not be an actual answer to it?
No, there's gotta be.
There
Yeah, I
has to
agree.
be.
There is an answer,
There has to
and I
be.
think the answer is that it's a form of sandwich
It
because
has to
it's
be a
it's
sandwich. Between bread.
It's something tucked between bread, and I would say a cheeseburger
So-
would probably be the same kind of scenario. It's
Like,
got its
okay.
own buns.
If you were to build a menu for a restaurant, where would you put a hot dog? Under a hot. If you only had one hot dog, like you don't have a bunch of hot dogs, you'd put it under sandwiches.
I think I might give that on an entirely separate menu. Like
Just
you know how
one hot
sometimes
dog?
sometimes they have like dessert menus and they'll hand like here's the dessert menu if you want to splurge. I may have like
You would give them a full menu and then one little menu with
Well,
one hot dog on
if
it.
it's got one thing, it may look more like a business card, and nobody really wants to like talk about how they have hot dogs, so I might kind of just slide it on their table, like if you feel like kind of getting nuts, I guess.
You guys adding a hot dog to the tab?
No, I just.
Don't do it.
Tell me how you feel about this. I'm
No,
doing,
hot dogs are gross.
I'm
I don't
doing a
want-
really quick survey right now that no one knows about.
Yuck.
How do we feel about hot dogs at Tab? Late night, $4.50.
Don't do it. No, they gotta be cheaper. If they were like dollar dogs. or
We did a
something-
brat for a while. We did a beer brat.
Yeah, brats they're kind of their own species, though.
They were
I think.
good. I think they were bent.
They
It was
were-
like right when I was leaving for
They got a bit more
Blackwoods.
volume.
Bit more volume. It was a beer brat, but they were from Ben Paddle, I think.
That sounds
'Kay.
tasty. What were we talking about before the hot dog debate?
We were talking about how you lied about
Mm.
Reubens.
That's right. I lied about Reubens. So she came at me for that one, but also I talked about how I didn't believe in ghosts, and
Oh my gosh, yes.
and she's like, really?
really?
That's what you sound like in my head.
That's the voice you gave
Yeah,
me.
really.
What's Casey's voice? Do Casey. He's very.
Gage.
Does he do you do that a lot?
Yeah, I told you.
Okay, that's
Nice.
fair.
This
Wow,
is-
he's like,
That was really good.
I didn't realize I do that, but I guess I do that.
it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's what you say. This is our 11th podcast. We've been doing this for a little while now, a couple months.
You guys have been hanging out for
We've
a
been,
while.
we've been
I
hanging.
like you more than some of my friends.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I see you more than I see my parents.
Your parents
Um,
don't live here, do they?
Nope.
Guy.
Um,
This is going.
Not saying much.
This is going well
not
for
sorry.
you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't
Gage
make
doesn't
me,
believe
Don't
in
make me bring up the
ghosts.
topic that will make you feel uncomfortable.
Gage doesn't believe in ghosts.
Oh man, I'm gonna sneak it in a little bit later, I think.
So why don't you believe in ghosts? You told me like 4 ghost stories that you knew about too, and you still don't believe in them, right? Didn't you?
I told you a story about something that happened to me that I couldn't explain.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it was a ghost. There are many things in life that we can't explain. But that, I mean, we shouldn't just go around jumping to conclusions saying, like, I don't
And
know.
it was a ghost.
Yeah.
It was a ghost, though.
You think it was a ghost?
Yes.
How you like?
Do you want to do the whole story? Hang on.
Yeah.
Let's back up. Let's do some content
Back
here.
it up.
Gage and I go to
Back
the
it up,
Rex.
Terry.
It's a Tuesday night. Going to go see
It was
the-
a Tuesday.
seeing my main man, Beaver.
The
Big
beef.
Beaver fan.
Nice.
Chit-chatting.
Uh-huh.
And then you told a story about.
Oh, you want me to,
Yeah.
about what okay, so
Tell him the story about the ghosts.
what was it, like 2 years ago? I had some out of town clients, and there was a vacant house that they were interested in, but they were out of town, so they had asked that I go there. And keep in mind, it was in January, and it was about 7 o'clock, so it was dark outside. They said, "Can you please go there and just take a look at it, and then let us know the condition of the property?" And I said, "Yes, of course, I can do that." So I get there. There was no electricity. You know what happens when there's no electricity is that it's dark inside. So I went in there, and I was walking around, and I was totally fine. I wasn't scared at all. And then I went into the basement, and again, I wanted to get scared, but then I was like, "No, Gage, remember, ghosts don't exist." So then I remember that.
Rational thought.
Yeah, my rational, logical mind started going to work, and I was like, "Okay, not scared." And then I had my flashlight on my phone, and I was looking at the foundation, yada yada yada. And I looked up at like this structural beam on the house, and on it somebody had written the word or the phrase "Jack's dead" on there, which honestly didn't freak
Freaky.
me out when I read it, because I don't know,
freaking
kids
Casey
are
out.
kids are weird. I still think we need to get a cam on Casey's
I
face
know.
when he does those
It's
things.
really entertaining.
I was like, I don't know, people write weird things on houses sometimes. It's not a big deal. But right after I read it, my phone died, so everything went completely pitch black. And then I was standing in an unfinished basement of a house built in 1907 or something like that. And it was weird because my phone was at like 70% when I had gone into the house, so there's no way that it should have shut off. And that kind of freaked me out. And then I went back out to my car, plugged it in, and it was at 70%. So for some reason, it turned off after I read that little phrase, "Jack's dead," and that kind of freaked me out.
That's freaky.
But that doesn't mean that it was a ghost.
Casey thinks it's a ghost.
For sure, a ghost.
That could have been a
Did you
coincidence.
like
No.
run? I would have ran out.
Right?
I ran as fast as I could while also being safe. Because running in the dark is actually really dangerous.
house. Is it?
Yeah.
In a house you've never been to
yeah,
before.
because you just can't see all that well in the dark.
Did you tell the clients that story?
No.
Is that something you need to disclose?
Nope. You need to disclose if there's a dead body on the property, which I have
Well,
sold.
okay, Jack.
Yeah, that could be it. I have sold a house before that had a dead body on it. It was like buried in the backyard, so they had
Like
to
a
disclose
human?
it. Mm-hmm. It was like their grandpa or something. So they had to disclose that he was buried in the
Is that a
backyard.
thing people used to do?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, there was a grave. He just wasn't in like a graveyard per se. I mean,
Right.
he was in the yard, and I guess there was a grave there. So, I mean, I suppose you could call it a
I
graveyard.
suppose, yeah, they do that at Glensheen. Like, they have the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
family there, right?
Right. Yeah, so that's, I suppose that's not so far off. But yeah, you need to disclose that. You need to disclose if there's a murder on the property. You don't need to disclose if somebody's died, and you also don't need to disclose if someone committed suicide. But murder, you need to disclose.
Murder. I wonder why it's different.
Because, I don't know, that might warrant
Crime
a
scene?
dangerous neighborhood.
Right.
So that seems like some material information that they should know.
That's neat.
But you said that
pretty neat.
you had some stories of some ghost stuff that
Yeah,
has
because
happened.
ghosts are real.
How can you be so, like, why do you think that?
Because how do you explain all of the weird things that happen to people?
I don't know. Things just happen.
Didn't you have another story? Because you had one really good one that, like, full goosebumped me.
Really?
Or was it Beaver? I think it was you.
I don't.
It was about a house, and something happened, and then they called the old owners, and they were like, oh, yeah, that was a thing. Was that you? This must have been a Beaver story.
I think it must have been a Beav story.
Ah,
I don't really
Beav,
remember
where
that.
are you when we need ya?
Yeah. But you had a story, didn't you?
Yeah, I've never had anything happen to me, though. It was
Okay, see, that's tough.
Right,
Secondhand,
right.
secondhand information.
It was like a friend who had something happen to, I believe, but I don't know.
I just
I like to believe that it's real.
I don't. It
I
just
like
doesn't-
thinking.
It seems so inconsistent to me.
Well, yeah.
And it's like ghosts.
They're not just going to consistently do it because then that's science. And when science is happening, then ghosts, like, their whole life is ruined.
It sort of feels like you're kind of starting to join my team. Are you
No, I'm saying that they're being strategic about their placement so
Why,
that way they
though?
can't be discovered.
What's the difference to go? Like, why does a ghost not want to be? If they
It's like
really.
Hannah Montana.
Oh man.
Just talking about Hannah Montana.
Yeah, we were. Casey and I had
They
a
wanna
long
live a
conversation
secret
about.
life.
Hannah
Why are you talking about?
Montana. I just think like, what do they got to hide? I don't know.
I'm just Hannah Montana. They're living like a double life. This is the
What's the other
this
life,
Is
though?
the relation that I came up with. Because they want to live their little happy ghost life of scaring people, but they can't do it so often that you're like, you know what? Next Tuesday, 4 p.m., this ghost is going to do this. Why? Science. Because that's going to ruin everything for them. Then they can't just go around ghosting people.
I think yeah. I think that if I was a ghost, I would be afraid of other ghosts. Because if I became a ghost, then I would be like, okay, so ghosts do exist. So I wouldn't go to
Yeah, but
scary
they
places to
have
scare people because I would be afraid of getting
But they
scared
have
by
to know
other
that
ghosts.
each other exists, you think? It's like, do you think dogs can talk to each other? Ghosts can see each other, right?
I think dogs can communicate. Yeah,
Right?
why not?
So then why can't ghosts see each other?
Well, they can. They can see each other, but I'm just saying, if I was a ghost, like personally, I would be nervous about bumping into other ghosts because I wouldn't want to be scared.
Do you think they would scare each other? I feel like ghosts are nice folk.
Dude, I mean, sometimes people
Right.
scare.
Who are you
other
going to drink a
people.
Busch Light with?
I don't know.
Yours is gone. I saw you drink that Busch Light so quick.
Yours is gone already?
It's like
Casey, do you
beer.
believe in ghosts?
Quite a little bit.
He's got the backwash there still. Okay, Casey, ghost. Yeah, he believes. He was scared of your story.
Yeah, I for sure believe.
Have you ever had anything crazy happen? Can this be the episode everyone sees you?
No, not
Casey said he's not ready.
Ah!
yet.
No!
That's why he didn't want to wear a Halloween costume.
I know. I told Gage the only reason I was going to be on this week's episode was because it's spooky season and I wanted to wear my pajamas in public.
Yeah.
But I also requested that Casey wear his Halloween
did.
costume too.
She
for
did
the,
request it.
for the pure sake of my like sanity and nerves. It would have calmed
Yeah.
me down to look at someone dressed funny.
Now that you're on the podcast, like we're being recorded right now, and you'll probably
Uh-huh.
watch this later on and see me saying this right now, which is kind of like an Inception kind of thing, and it's kind of exciting, I think. Do you feel nervous?
Yes.
Really?
No. Yeah.
What are you nervous
I'm
about?
really hungry.
Do we have any hot
I have-
dogs or anything like that?
Do we have any sandwiches?
Yeah.
Do we
should-
have
should like, some
sandwiches?
maybe like some fondue. Actually, I don't like fondue. I think that's kind of a weird
Just
idea.
like the Reubens. Just
Sometimes I think some foods are just kind of exciting to talk about, but I don't actually like,
like a
to eat
Reuben?
them. I don't know, because it's like a
Ooh,
sand-
chocolate fondue.
It's hardly even fondue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, marketing idea for you. Sponsor restaurants and have them donate food. Why didn't we get OMC? Right. Casey loves this. Why didn't we call OMC tonight and be like, hey,
Oh.
give me some of your nachos because they're
they
amazing.
have
And
nachos
they
here?
are the, okay, Tavern on the Hill excluded. OMC's nachos are so good.
Ooh.
It's like they're pulled pork, obviously, but they do like real nice nacho, like cheese on it. And there's jalapenos and
Oh,
some
nice.
pico de gallo.
Yeah.
Big fan. That's all I'm saying. Call a restaurant, be like, hey,
No, that's a
I'll
good idea.
sponsor you. Give me some food for tonight.
We take advice here at the High Five.
Yeah.
We're,
know a thing or two
we're
about
always open to advice. What's that other thing you taught? Oh, if you were to be a vegetable, what kind of vegetable would you
This
be
is
and
my
why?
favorite question. You have to.
I honestly forgot your answer.
You
so
have
this is
to
perfect.
sneak this into conversation, though. It's a really good one when you're trying to avoid conversation. To be like, oh, hey, this is a really good segue. How do you feel about vegetables? What one would you be? What one describes your personality?
Yeah.
Do you want me to answer first?
Yeah, you answer first.
Mine
You're the
is a
guest.
sweet potato. I stole this answer from my friend Haley Vold because I feel like it also defines me, but because potatoes are very versatile. Sweet potato fries, potato chips,
Okay.
mashed potatoes,
Got it.
other potatoes. Also,
Right.
I'm kind of sweet.
Okay.
So,
So that's why you chose the sweet
sweet
potato
potato.
instead of the actual potato.
right, like regular potatoes are great, don't get me wrong. A lot of sodium in those guys.
A lot of starch, too,
A
isn't
lot
it?
of
Starchy?
starch. Yeah, but isn't that good for you, like in moderation?
I really don't know. Yeah, I really don't know.
I think they're good for you in moderation.
Yeah, picking a root vegetable, I think it's a bit of a risk, but I
You
mean,
think so?
clearly you weren't nervous to take it.
Didn't you
so
say you would be asparagus because it makes your pee smell?
Oh man, Casey didn't like that.
This is Gage's answer.
No.
Yes, you did say that.
That was a quick thought that I had,
That was your initial
and I do
thought.
like eating asparagus, and there's something, I don't know, there's something kind of enticing about the way your pee smells.
It's like gasoline, you know?
Yeah,
You like
like
it?
I'm not gonna go like out of my way to smell it, but I'm also not gonna like avoid it. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that if there was like a candle that was maybe like asparagus pea smelling, that you would light that, Casey?
Casey says no.
Okay, so I guess I'm the weirdo because I definitely would. Not often, but
You would not.
maybe like a
How
Friday.
much would you spend on that candle?
No more than $15.
Oh my god! This is a Bath and Body candle.
Oh,
This is a high end. This isn't like a $2 one you get from
I just
TJ
think
Maxx
you could
on
have fun with
clearance.
it. I think it would be, and I think I would buy it actually just to see the people's reactions when they came into the house, and they were like, "What is that smell?" It's like, "Oh, it's my new candle, asparagus pea." But that wasn't the.
I don't know what to say. This is a very rare occurrence. I'm at a loss for words.
That's good. That means I'm doing my job well.
Is it because
That
you're-
wasn't the vegetable. That wasn't the
Oh
vegetable
yeah,
that
tell
I
me
chose
what
though.
vegetable you would be.
The one that I chose was a jalapeno.
Yep.
Why did I choose a jalapeno? Because I'm spicy, but not like too spicy, but like just kind of the right amount of spice, I think. And you can only take so much meat before, you're done. You don't want to have any more. Or yeah, I don't know.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Didn't you say you're like a 2% Mexican or something too?
No, 12 and a half.
Oh, 12 and a half.
Yeah, which is an eighth. So.
Math.
Yeah. If I was to do some quick math, but yeah, that's.
If I was to do it, I've done it before. It's an eighth.
Yeah, I have. So I would be a jalapeno, and I think that's actually my favorite vegetable, because I think like a potato, it's relatively versatile. There's stuffed jalapenos,
Ooh.
and you can put it on about anything. You can put it like
That's
in
fair.
beer. You were talking about habanero beer, which isn't really a jalapeno, but it's kind of
They're
like
like cousins.
they're both peppers.
It's
so.
like a hot dog and a hamburger.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sammy.
Right.
Same but different.
Yeah, I get that. I do like
Casey?
that question though.
If you were a vegetable, what vegetable would you be? We're involving him as much as humanly
Avocado
possible.
vegetable?
Isn't it a fruit?
Maybe because it has a seed.
I think so.
And I wanted to say tomato,
But that's also-
debatable, so I'll go with
Oh.
mushroom. I eat a lot of mushrooms.
Ooh.
They're so
Oh.
good when they're
Nice.
soggy and cooked.
Like the special ones.
What kind of mushrooms
Do
are
you
you
eat the
talking
special
about?
ones?
Portobello, the big.
Ooh, the big ones. Those are good ones. Butter, garlic, those guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can eat them like a burger.
Have you met my
Ugh.
best friend, Casey?
Gross.
I feel like we're soul sisters right now.
Oh, nice. Oh man.
Let's trade seats right now.
I hate
Pop
mushrooms.
over here. What?
Yeah, they're gross. It's a
Are you
fungus.
lying?
Fungus. No, this
Fungus.
I'm telling the truth. Like, hey, you want to come over later and eat this fungus? Like, yuck. No.
No, but
I'm
you'll go
stay-
eat a
I'm
Reuben.
gonna stay at home.
I'm gonna stay home and smell my asparagus candle.
I would rather sit in my own asparagus candle pee, and go eat a mushroom hamburger. Oh.
Yeah. This is
Oh
good
my
vegan
gosh,
people
I'd rather
food.
get kicked in the pants. I think I want nothing to do with
What?
it. Yeah. Oh.
Casey, I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting
I don't
down.
like it when you guys turn against me.
Right? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Holy night.
I do like those questions though. I like the questions
random
where it's like
ones?
it's totally out of the blue, and it's almost like a relief because you don't really need to work hard to
No, you
to
learn
like
a lot
answer.
about
You're
people
just like,
too.
oh, okay.
I had an old manager, every interview he would do, he would ask people, if you were a tree, what kind of a tree would you be? And the thought behind it is like, you just want to see how quickly people can answer, like in our industry.
Yeah.
Like you want to see how creative they are, how like quickly they can come to an answer and like
Right.
not crack under pressure.
Yeah.
What kind of a tree would you be?
I don't really know trees that well, but if I had to choose one, I think maybe a what's that called? A bonsai tree, probably.
Okay, why?
I don't know, cause it's. I guess I really don't have an answer. I think it's kind of small, and Mr. Miyagi had one, and you can go around saying like a spruce or a poplar, but then it's just like you're like all the other trees, just blending in the forest.
So you
But if
wanna
you're
be a
walking through
hipster
the
tree.
woods and you see a bonsai, you're gonna be like, what? A little mini tree. So that either that or
little mini
no,
tree.
just a bonsai. That would be my answer. Do you have an answer?
An aspen.
I'm nervous to even ask you.
Because of the way it is.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Oh man.
Instant, right there.
Yeah.
I also know this question, so that's not fair. Casey, what kind of tree would you be?
A red fern.
Ooh,
What?
why?
That's not a tree.
I was
is
going
it?
to say it's because you're a redhead.
It's a plant.
Wait,
Guys, Casey's a redhead.
Isn't it a plant? Oh yeah,
We're giving
you
hints
just
about him.
disclosed a bit of info about Casey.
Oh, this is like Where's Waldo? Let's
Yeah.
give like a little hint about you every week, and then
Casey-
someone's going to come up to you in public and be like, or someone else who's
Yeah.
a redhead.
He wears an eye patch.
He's missing the left half
Yeah,
of one arm.
he's got about 60% of the amount of teeth that he should have.
Ooh, yep. Missing all the good ones.
Yeah, he's,
subpar hygiene.
we do have to get you on one of these days, though. The people want to, they want to meet you.
If you see a redhead eating a hamburger with a mushroom bun,
Gross.
Casey.
Mushroom bun. Something interesting about Millie. She used to travel the country as a singer or performer.
Singer. Yes. It was mostly like the Midwest.
Mm.
So me and my brother were homeschooled. My parents
Right.
chose to homeschool us, and my brother's older than me, and he kind of took the bull by the horns and like really dove into the piano and traveled a lot, did a lot of different things with that. And so then me as the little sister kind of tagged along, and I'm like, I'm also going to do something like
nice.
this.
Yeah.
This is the 7-year-old Millie voice.
Oh,
I
sweet.
also want this.
Whoa, you sounded like a detective when you were 7 or something like that.
Is that what a
You
detective
sounded
sounds like
what
to you?
what the Monopoly guy might sound like.
Your
I'm sure
brain
it
is
was
such
cute,
an
though.
interesting voice. This is Monopoly, man. But yeah, I did a lot of singing for a bunch of different things, but I remember specifically one, like, it was kind of just old show tunes where, like, we would go
Really?
around, yeah. It's a big show tune gal.
What is a show tune? Isn't that like kind of an
It's
old
like-
school kind of thing?
It's like where they randomly break out in song,
Mm.
right? So,
Yeah.
like, Hello, Dolly, The King and I, Rent. Oh my
Casey,
God.
I don't know what any of those.
Am I just an
This is fine.
uncultured
I was
SOB?
homeschooled. I was homeschooled.
What do you think
This
about
is
being
different.
homeschooled versus
I
public
loved
school?
it. So I went to public school my 11th and 12th grade year. So my
Okay.
junior and senior year of high
Right.
school. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cough a lot. And I really liked both aspects. I have an amazing relationship with my parents as someone who was homeschooled, and I'm not sure
Right.
if that's always the case, but I was very
If they're
fortunate.
watching right now, I'm sure they appreciate
I
that.
love
comment.
my parents.
I
I
love
always
mine
tell my
too.
mom that like when I get married one day, my mom's gonna be my maid of honor because she's my person in life.
Right.
And if my dad dies before I get married, it's just not gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Let's hope not.
Right? Exactly. But they're my people, which I'm very, very fortunate about. But homeschool kids kind of have the stigma of being a little weird.
Ooh.
I'm gonna be one of them. I will raise my hand and tip my hat to
I
being
was
a little
definitely
odd.
gonna say homeschool kids are weird.
Right.
When I remember being in 7th, 8th grade, and you would see the homeschool kids
Right.
kind of at like the sporting events and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, they would wear like goofy shoes. And
They would wear the clothes their moms made for them. And don't get me wrong, my mom made a lot of my dresses, and I was cute. I was a cute child.
Yeah.
But there's some kids that talk about their pet goats and how they make their food from which is cool, sustainable, all about this lifestyle. But also I don't know, maybe socialize. Maybe learn that it's kind of weird to talk about those things when you first meet someone.
Right.
Maybe introduce yourself first before you tell me about your pet goat.
Yeah.
Or
No,
don't,
that's-
I don't know.
That's a good. no,
Whatever
that's-
makes you happy
That's
makes
actually really
me
good
happy.
advice.
My name's Millie.
Do you feel like you had any social struggles?
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't, like, you kind of only dealt with your parents for
Right,
much
exactly.
of the
And
beginning of
other
your life?
homeschool kids, so like you kind of learn that that's the norm of like, I don't know how you're supposed to interact with people,
Mm.
and it's not like transitioning into high school was hard because. First of all, I was known as the weird homeschool kid. I was
Right.
also, I'm Howie Hanson's daughter, for anyone that knows that name.
Mhm.
Most people in my high school did.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, the weird homeschool Howie Hanson's daughter girl is here. And so then you kind of have this
Don't
stigma
let her
of like,
talk about our goats.
don't let her talk about her goats. We all rode horses.
Oh, man, that's
we
a
only
whole,
saw
you
our
were
friends
like, a
like
total,
once a month.
You were a
Yeah.
whole other breed.
I was a homeschool child. It's not, that's
Oh,
its own
and
thing. And
traveling, singing folk tunes, too?
folk,
What was it again?
Show tunes?
Oh, crap.
folk tunes is like, isn't that Trampled by Turtle? Aren't they considered folk music?
I don't know. Yeah, they're folk
Casey
music.
says yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. I like
Right.
that.
They're neat guys.
That would be interesting. No. So you feel like there was maybe a bit of a social challenge?
Oh, definitely. I think it took me my entire high school career to kind of like come to find myself. You know, like it was only 2 years, but by the end of those 2 years, I finally felt like I made friends.
Whoa.
And they were very patient, and I'm still friends with some of them, and I'm like, thank you so much for putting up with me.
Duluth Central, 2011.
Denfeld Central merge year. So I was technically a Denfeld student.
So you were a hunter. You were
I'm
not
a hunter.
You're not a
Yeah.
Trojan.
No, I'll take it. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but like
You'll
Jordan DeCaro and I graduated together.
Right.
And like,
He's a Trojan.
he's a Trojan.
He's a
though.
self-proclaimed Trojan. yeah.
Right, exactly. And like, I'm definitely a hunter through and through, but I don't know. I'm proud to say that I went to Central for that year and I got to meet all of those kids too.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Some of those people are my friends just as much as my Denfeld.
Right.
Like,
So that was kind of why you stopped doing the show tunes?
yeah, you just
It
kind
was
of grow
because you
out
went
of
to
it.
school?
I wanted to be normal.
Did you
I
ever
wanted
want to
go
be
prom
like
and-
Hannah Montana?
No.
Really?
Not really. You mean like super famous or
Mhm.
no?
Like signing autographs and stuff?
Never.
Would you sign a baby, though, if somebody asked you?
No. Would you?
Oh, for sure. I
Why would you sign
with a
someone's
permanent marker too?
No. There's a little girl that comes into Tavern though, and she's a year old. She just had her first birthday, and I
Nice.
stand next to this girl and I just go Millie, 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 trying to get her first word to
Oh,
be my
yeah.
name.
Oh,
She
that
does
would
her
be-
mama's and her dad does, but I'm like, God, if this child says my name next, I'll pay for her college tuition.
Oh my god.
Give this to me.
that would be awesome. Oh man, I can't believe you went to some. Did you ever go to like Nashville and perform? I think I asked you this though.
No.
Where's the
no.
furthest that you went from the Midwest? to
I think we
perform?
went to Chicago. This is kind of
Okay.
a mom question. Mom. But
Mom?
call her really quick, Mommy.
Yeah, we've never done that live call-in.
She would get so mad at me. She'd be like,
Yeah.
Emily Grace Hanson, what are you doing?
Does she ever call you Mildred when she's mad at you?
No. My dad will occasionally,
Mm.
but my mom is kind of, she's grown to call me Emily.
Okay.
Emmy. Ems.
Right. That's nice. Do you ever wish you had like a kind of a badass nickname like
Millie.
like the Hammer or something like,
Like
that though?
the Millie.
Like a WWE
Do you know the
superstar?
Hammer? Do you know who
Nick?
he is? Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that his name?
Nick Hammer.
Is that it?
That's his last name
The
is
deaf
actually
guy, right?
Oh no, maybe that isn't him then. I know a dude whose first name is Nick, last name is Hammer.
Oh.
So we call him Hammer, but that's also his name.
Oh.
So
There's a deaf, maybe he, I don't know what strain of wrestling he does. Strain category?
oh,
of
he's
wrestling?
like
He's
an
like a
actual.
professional. Yeah.
You don't. I thought this was somebody that you like knew.
Oh no, there's like a professional.
Maybe like another homeschooled
some-
kid or something like that.
All my friends are homeschooled.
No, he's deaf. Oh, I suppose.
Yeah, he's a deaf, some kind of a wrestler or a boxer. I guess I don't really know. No, he's a wrestler. He does more than just punch people.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got on this list that we put together here. So we talked about the vegetable thing. One other thing that we said that we were going to talk about was dating.
Oh God. Okay.
Is that something that you feel comfortable talking
We
about
can
with your
talk.
parents sitting right there watching you?
Yes.
Oh, nice. My dad watches this too. He said he's my #1 fan.
But your dad
Thanks,
is
Dad.
badass. I'm gonna swear because
Yeah, he's cool.
wasn't he in a rock band? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
he
Like
was
a hair
in a rock
band?
band. Yeah,
Did your dad have long hair?
he did. He had a mullet.
Will you please send us photos so he can show these to me?
Yeah, I can find them and maybe show them to you later. I think I might have some. But
Long hair dad.
yeah.
Do you have his music?
We do. I think he had like a CD made or whatever, so he has like a album or whatever.
Neato.
Yeah.
He was the big
so
deal.
We download it on the computer, so we have it at the computer at their house, I guess. But it's pretty good too. It's
Bet
not.
he wanted to be Hannah Montana.
It's not bad. He probably wanted to be Hannah Montana. He may not even. He's probably watching this like,
Like,
I don't even know
who's
who
Hannah
Hannah
Montana?
is.
Googler.
So what's your opinion on what's your opinion on dating?
I don't. That's a broad question.
It is a broad question. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to think of how to narrow this down.
When do you
for
think you'll be looking for a serious significant other?
I don't think you can put a timeline on it.
Okay,
I
another
guess.
bad question.
No.
Thank God.
I'm not sure when your first date was, because my assumption
Okay.
is that it was later than most people because you're homeschooled. But don't take that in the
That's a good question.
No, see, here's the thing. Big church gal here. Lots of church friends. So,
Hallelujah.
I don't know. The church community marries young. So you date young,
Yeah.
So I guess, my first real date, I was probably older than most, but I was still, that was probably a personal choice more than it was, I didn't have the opportunity. It was more so, I don't wanna. So it was probably 16.
Okay. That was your
17?
first date, or that was your first boyfriend?
It was the same guy. So, my first date was a kid that I dated throughout high school.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm a big dating advocate. I'm a big advocate of enjoying the company of people.
Okay.
Whether you date them or not is kind of where I'm wishy-washy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm talking for myself. I'm
Yeah.
very happy with how I am as a human and where I'm at and the things that I do. And if someone brings joy to my life and adds to that, that's great. If not,
Right.
then we can be friends, we can hang out, we can do whatever. But I'm not going out of my way to date. I
Yeah.
can kill my spiders. I can shovel my driveway. I can lift the heavy things. I can do all the stuff. So I don't
Nice.
need someone in my life
Right.
to add to this. I don't
Yeah.
need this. But if someone's going to come along and build my life up, then that's great. Then we'll go
Yeah.
from there. But
I think that's kind of a unique point of view. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I feel like girls are kind of split that way. I think, for example, Vanessa, the girl who I had on 2 weeks ago, she was in a very long relationship that ended very abruptly, and then she was dating this dude for 7 years. They broke up, and it's been 30 days, and she's like, "Yep, I'm totally ready for another boyfriend."
right.
She wants one quick. And that to me was kind of crazy. I
Right.
feel like you're kind of the opposite. You're saying I'm definitely not looking for
Right.
a boyfriend, but if somebody comes along and they're like Mr. Special or whatever,
Right, exactly.
then I would, yeah.
Well, it's
then
I'm
you would go for
so
it.
honed in on who I am as a human and the things that I want and the things for myself. I know
Right.
what makes me happy and I know what doesn't. And it's finding someone that meshes with that is hard because
Yeah.
where are those areas where you can give a little and I don't know. Dating's
Yep.
stupid. Dating's dumb. Personal opinion.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that though. I think dating in your 20s I think is kind of dumb. I just think it's extremely difficult because I think
Yeah.
as young people we're still kind of trying to figure out what the H we're going to do with our lives and
Right.
trying to figure out okay, who even am I?
Right, exactly.
Some people have known I feel like my grandpa's had friends longer than I've been alive and he's
Right.
so I just feel like I don't know, sometimes I'm still trying to find myself, let alone bring this person in. And I
Right.
don't know, in your 20s is kind of the time to kind of build the base of your life too, kind of thing. So
No,
it's,
I agree.
I think it's difficult to, I don't know, split that with somebody.
Well, and the thing for me is that I know the things that I want to accomplish in life, and I'm so strong-headed that I want to do those alone.
Right.
It's great if someone comes along for it, but in the same breath, my student loans, that's my responsibility. This is just something broad that I'm thinking of, but something that I don't want to date someone and get married and then now have this be our responsibility. It's this is a bad example, but something
No, I hear
along
you,
those
though.
lines,
Right.
buying my first house.
Right.
I did that.
Yeah.
And it's that's something where I'm good job, Millie, you killed it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Those are just, I have a really big pride I'm learning in this sentence that I'm saying.
No, that's good. I think that's good. I think some people I don't want to use the word leech, but they kind of like latch on to people. And
They want to do it as a team, and there's nothing wrong with that to an extent. You know, like there's a healthy balance to definitely both, because I probably take it to an extreme of independence. But there's also people who take it to an extreme of codependence. So it's
Right.
like finding that happy medium of like, okay, I'll let you kill this spider because I want you to also do this. But
Are you afraid of spiders?
you're afraid of spiders?
No, are you?
No. I thought you said
I
you
think
were.
the spider was just like a metaphor.
Oh, a metaphorical spider.
Oh!
Oh, okay.
It was kind of, yeah.
Now I get it.
Thanks, Casey.
Oh,
See my
great.
soul. You met my best friend, Casey?
Yeah, I did. No, I think that's a good point. Casey, what do you think? You a fan of dating?
I don't know. I like your stance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhere in the middle probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the fun aspect of dating, but
Right.
don't tell my boyfriend this, but being in a relationship can suck sometimes.
Right. He said he loves you so much.
Oh, nice.
But it can also be awesome.
I do kind of agree with you on that
Right.
though too, because it's fun to get to know somebody really well. I think that's
Right.
that's super cool, and to have somebody that you're just crazy close with, and you feel like you can tell them anything, and
Right.
I don't know, that's
No,
that's
I
kind of cool
agree.
too. So I can see I don't know, I can see it from all opinions. Honestly, yeah.
I don't know. I guess my counter to that is just that, like, when you're dating, it's great and it's nice to have that person. But I also think we kind of miss the aspect of, like, your friends can do this for you too. You know, and I feel like
Yeah.
this is an our generation kind of thing where you're like, I want a boyfriend because I want to tell him everything. I want him to be the one that, like, I build and do all these things with. But at the same time, like, I have an incredible group of girlfriends. Like, we're very, very tight-knit.
Yeah.
And, like, I genuinely think even if I, like, was dating someone right now, I'm still going to go to them first.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I still tell these girls everything. They still vice versa with me. And there is something special about doing this with, like, your
Some
partner in
dude.
life, right? Some dude,
Yeah.
some broad. But I don't know. I feel like that's something we don't cherish enough. Like, there's so many people who get in relationships and then they just kind of drop off the face of the earth because they're so
Yeah, I agree
infatuated with
that.
their person.
That kind of drives me nuts.
It drives
I
me
don't think
so
that's a good thing.
It's not. It's super unhealthy, but we don't see it happening because it's not a norm anymore. You know, like, you don't think about, for me, my girlfriends, like, these are my people, a boy's not. You know,
Right.
at the end of the day, me and a boy could break up.
That's true.
You know, like, I've had relationships that have failed or have not worked, you know? My girls have always been there. So it's
Yeah.
like, why am I not telling them about all of my victories and all of my failures and all of these things when they're the ones who are going to be there 24/7, 365 till we die?
Yeah. No, I can relate to that for sure. I do think there are some things, though, that I would much sooner share with a girlfriend than I would with some of my friends. And I think it might
Yeah.
be different with guys in that sense, because, like, some things, if
Right.
I went up to my friends and it was like, hey, listen, this is how I feel about this, and I started talking about my things, they'd be like, ooh, oh, really?
Right.
Okay.
Well, and I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And it's
oh,
the same.
cry me a
But you
river.
can also have a best girlfriend who can do that for you. know?
I don't know. That's actually a really good topic.
You
Do
don't
you
think
think
you could have
that
a best
guys
girlfriend?
and girls can be
Yes.
like best friends?
Oh my God, yes. One of my best friends is a guy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have girls that are really good friends of mine, but I think at some point, someone is gonna be trying to. They're gonna be trying to want to be with that person, either be
Yeah.
with them or, get like a little physical at least.
Mama Hanson, cover your ears.
I'm trying to keep it PG. They're gonna want
But no,
make
it
the
can
birds and
happen.
the bees. I think.
Make the birds and the bees. This is a homeschool metaphor in case anyone.
Do you think that's
no.
nuts though?
To an extent. I don't know. I
Every
guess it
time I
kind of
talk
depends
to a
on the
girl
friendship.
about this, she's saying what you're saying. But every time I ask a guy about it, he's like, I totally agree.
Okay, but guy,
Girls
this is
don't
me
see it. They're like,
stereotyping.
"No, that's my dude. He's like my best friend." But if you were to go up to him and be like, "Hey, you want to come over and sleep over tonight?" and maybe things get a little physical, he will literally. It doesn't matter if he's 3 states
Right.
away. He's getting on an airplane, flying over there. He's going to try.
Okay, yeah, but that's the thing.
to sleep in the
Girls
same bed.
don't need to. Girls don't need to get laid. Like for us, it's the emotional connection. I guess is kind of the way that there's more. There's different situations. I'm not stereotyping the whole thing together.
Right.
But I think for guys, they don't need that emotional connection as much as girls do.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
No,
I
that's
don't
fair.
know.
And I think on average, girls are, I don't know, they're more emotional. Is that the right way to say
Yeah,
it?
and
Or
I mean, emotionally connected, aware.
I think naturally that's the way it is because, like, they're mothers, and mothers is always like,
Right,
oh,
they're
my mom.
nurturers. And like, I'm not trying to stereotype women and genderfy. Is that the term?
Genderfy. Is that a word?
I think so.
Is that a word, Casey?
I haven't heard it, but it makes sense.
I'm homeschooled. Don't yell at me.
Don't bring
my
up the
mom,
quotes.
my mom taught me English.
Stereotype, gender type.
I think genderfy is a term, but I could be wrong. Everyone's gonna yell at me.
It could be.
But that's where my mind goes. That's where I go, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be intimate with a man that I'm just like
Oh, right.
not emotionally connected to. And
Yeah.
I don't think guys have that initial thought as much as I do.
About not wanting to be physical with somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
would
I
agree
don't
with
know.
that.
I guess, and it also kind of depends on the friendship. Like me and my really good guy friend, like we just know that we wouldn't work together, and like we've had conversation about like, hey, I love you a lot, but because I think you're my brother, and the same vice versa. I guess I've never asked him.
Yeah.
I don't care to. I don't want to. Oh, we're going to ruin my friendship now because I'm going to think about this tonight. She's like, oh.
I mean, it definitely doesn't need, like I said, I for sure have girls that are like, they're really good friends of mine, but if it ever was like where we were like, yeah, no, this is like my best friend, and we're like hanging out all the time, like there's definitely going to be a point where something's going to start happening in my mind. Again, whether it's like, I need to like stop hanging out with you because I'm starting to become very sexually attracted to you, and it's difficult for me to focus on our
You
friendship.
want to take her to the no pants
when I have to
dance.
sit cross-legged every time we're hanging out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So Casey liked that.
He's so
No, I
uncomfortable.
didn't.
He's so.
And I think that it's, girls don't always see it because the guys will tell you something totally different. A girl
Right.
will be like, I just feel like you're like my brother. And he's going to be like, I know, it's like you're my sister. And then he's going to go back to his friends. His friends will be like, oh, yeah, were you hanging out with Mily again yesterday? Like, yeah. He's like, oh, you guys banging? He's going to be like, no. And he's like, oh, so you're friend zoned. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, yeah, I guess I am.
And then your pride hurts
Yeah.
because the world revolves around sex.
No, that's not true. But, it's something that I think that we all pretend like we're not thinking about. But I think it's something that people think about.
I'm not thinking about it.
I'm not thinking, well, now I'm thinking about it, but like a little bit ago I was not until you mentioned it. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking about me being a jalapeno pepper again, I think, for a little bit. And then all of a sudden you brought up the fornication stuff.
Have you ever thought about how cool ceilings are?
Oh, no, she's changing the subject all of a sudden.
But really, like, why is this?
What?
Why is it here, right?
What are you going to do without it, I guess?
Right. We'd be damp, and you couldn't have more than one floor, right?
It's kind of something that...
It's be a very tall building with no sustenance.
That actually might be a good business to get into, is the ceiling business, because it's something that you really couldn't replace. Like, something that would make me nervous is maybe walkie-talkies. See, I'm not looking to get into the walkie-talkie business because I don't really see that as like a long game. I think walkie-talkies are just, they're becoming a lot less relevant.
Gotcha.
As, we have phones. Everyone's got phones. But the thing about ceilings is every building, or most buildings I've been in, have them.
Except for Tom's Burn Down on Island.
That's literally the example that came to mind. I was
nice
like,
big tent.
I was
But they
like,
do really well for themselves because they don't have a roof.
that's kind of like their shtick.
Nice little shtick you got
But
there.
you can't go there all the time. Like, you're not going to go there and get brunch on a rainy Sunday morning.
Do they have brunch?
No, but you know why?
That's why you're not going to go get brunch there.
They don't have it because they don't have a ceiling, and that's
need a
kind of the
ceiling
thing.
for
If you're trying to splurge and hang out with some eggs Benedict in the morning, but it's raining out, it's not going to happen unless you got that ceiling.
Business tip.
Business tip. Wow, that was a crazy little.
That was good. That worked really well for
That
me.
was a crazy little side road that you took. You took a chance on that one, and I
felt like it was
think
good. I don't feel like I took a chance. I feel like that was well executed.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
That was good.
All right, let's take a. Actually, wait. I got an idea. Special news of the day. I do it every episode.
Special.
So, if you're not familiar with the special news of the day.
I'm going to be completely
Okay.
honest. I kind of buzz through to find when you talk, so that way I can debate everything that you say.
Was there anything that you noticed that you want to debate with me on right now?
I don't think so. I feel like I took little notes. You do your thing, and I'll do my thing.
Okay. So.
This is when we need hold music. Casey, let's go. Dude.
Can you sing? Wait.
I went straight to the Mario theme song in my mind.
You're a singer, aren't you? Can you sing for us? Do you sing on podcasts?
No,
You're not a singer.
I'm not going to. No.
Okay.
Nintendo 64 growing up.
Heck yeah. Homeschooled.
So here's the special news for today. Listen up. Do you remember in 2012 when the world was supposed to end?
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
that?
I remember because I was at work and I just sat there being like, of course, this is how I die.
It was December 21st, 2012.
Yep.
The world was supposed to come to an end. I was actually very scared when this happened. I was a senior in high school and I was very scared. But here's the story. There was a family in the Netherlands that were also very scared about this. So what they did is they built a secret bunker behind like a trick cabinet in their living room. And they have
Franked their house?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. They have been in that bunker for the last 7 years.
No.
Because they went in the day before they thought the world was going to end. And like, what are you gonna? You'd be afraid to peek your head out because you just assume
You don't know.
you assume the worst. So this family has been missing for 7 years.
The whole family.
Yep, nobody knew where they were because it was in a secret hatch.
That's pretty neat.
A secret hatch back there, and they finally found them. They found the secret
Did they
door.
come out or did someone find them?
No, they found them.
Are they alive?
They're alive, yeah. They were probably just surviving on, I don't know what, like canned corn, I guess, and like marshmallows probably,
Is this what you would eat?
and like
if
Gatorade.
Do you think they had any really good
Yeah.
asparagus
Oh
candles
man,
in
I was just
there?
about to bring that up. God, that would be so awesome.
Is that what you
I
would
wanna
eat
make
if you
that
had to
happen.
lock yourself behind a
I
cabinet
think
for
I
7
would.
years? Canned corn, marshmallows, and
No,
Gatorade.
I really don't like canned corn all that much.
So you just said it because it
I just
sounded
I think it seemed like sort of a logical
appropriate.
thing to, because canned things, they last a long time. So that would just make sense.
It's okay.
I've had a bag of tortillas in my cupboard for 5 months, I think,
And they're still good.
and they look fine.
Are you gonna
I'm
eat
not
it?
going to eat them because I'm afraid,
But you're gonna leave it in there
but
for
I bet I
science.
could if I wanted to. You know what I mean?
Are they corn tortillas or flour tortillas?
They're flour, but there's
not
no
good anymore.
mold
You
or anything. I
What
actually
if it's a white mold?
I used one as a coaster in my living room the other day.
A tortilla or the whole
Yep.
packet?
Nope, a tortilla. Because I thought it was hilarious.
Why are you the way you are?
You can go through life like doing what everybody else is doing, like using actual coasters to set
Or
your
you
stuff.
could wear your
Or-
spookies on a podcast.
Yeah, it's getting close to Halloween though. That
It's
kind of.
spooky season. There's
that
going to be
makes-
one more before Halloween. You should have done this all of October.
I should have.
Jordan DeCaro, where were your Halloween costumes?
Yeah. Oh man.
Just saying.
That's funny. What would you do if you thought it was gonna be the last day of the world? Like the world was gonna end. Let's say it's the day before.
And I don't have like a bunker or anything built. Like I know for a fact we're all dying tomorrow.
It's like there's a meteorite twice as big as the moon, and it's heading towards the planet. And I don't care if you got a bunker, a tree house, like
We're
a
dead.
goose blind. You cannot hide from this meteorite. Everybody's
Okay.
gonna die.
I think I would take my dogs
Mm.
and I would give them the best day ever.
That's so
would-
selfless of you.
I would go get them some like Mickey D's burgers.
Do they like those?
I've only given Hudson one. No, I've given both of them like crappy food after they go to like the vet for something. You know, like when they have this makes me sound when they have really bad days.
Oh no!
Then you treat them
I think that
A McDonald's hamburger.
you laugh like you think you sound like a crazy person
It does
saying
sound
this right now,
crazy.
but there are definitely dog owners who are watching this right now that
Who
are
are
going,
like,
"Oh my God, I do the
yes,
same thing."
Millie for president 2019,
Oh, nice.
everyone.
Are you gonna run for mayor?
No, I'm gonna leave that to Howie.
Nice. Is he gonna run again this year?
No.
I would vote, but he's got to come on my podcast and talk
I don't think
about.
I want Howie to come on your podcast.
Howie, if you're watching this, I would love to have you on the podcast, and I won't dress as an Irish stripper when you come on here. I'll wear a red, white, and blue suit.
You do look like an Irish stripper. Do you own a red, white, and blue suit? It sounds
No,
like something you
but
would
I
own.
do have. Well, I have a red, white, and blue suit, but it's not like American themed. It's Christmas themed, actually. So there's even a touch of green on it.
Ooh, can I come back around Christmas time just purely
Mm-hmm.
to wear another fun outfit?
Yep.
See you soon, folks.
Well, I mean, you can actually wear a fun outfit whenever on the podcast.
No.
I think that people appreciate
No,
that.
because then I'm the girl who overly spoils her dogs when they're having bad days and also wears
Yeah.
the weird homeschool girl who wears weird outfits that my mother made. My mom would help me make this, too. This is good. I'm painting a really good picture.
Yeah, you are.
Millie for president 2019.
I think all you had to do is say you're homeschooled, and everyone who wasn't homeschooled is going to be like, oh,
That
okay.
one. This is all making
She wore
sense
Velcro
now.
shoes until she was in 7th grade. Okay.
I could have graduated high school when I was 15.
Did you do
I
that?
passed all of my state tests
I will
when I was
say,
15.
the homeschooled kids always got very good grades when they came to public school.
Right.
They were
I
like,
was a smart kid.
this is easy. Like, they just flew through
Right.
it. So, I don't know. There's probably, it's one-on-one teaching, so.
Well, and you get to like actually focus on your learning types. So I do think there is some benefit to being
Ooh,
homeschooled.
that's a good point.
But I think there's pros and cons to both. Would I homeschool my children? Probably not.
Really?
Just purely because I would want. I'm really sad I didn't get to experience like friends in the way that normal children did.
Yeah.
But
Send them to Denfeld.
we'll see.
Have them be hunters. Send them to Marshall.
Yeah. Probably send them to
$60,000 a
Marshall.
year or whatever it
Right.
costs.
I have so much money. I don't know.
Casey, what do we have for time?
You're at an hour and 8 minutes.
Oh, so we're doing it.
So, I mean, we're doing it. I mean, is there anything that you want to cover, like strong opinions, random questions, favorite
How long
color?
are we supposed to go?
About an hour.
I tell everybody an
So-
hour.
Oh, so we're over.
So we're over. We're in extra innings at this point.
Okay. So I would like everyone to know that penguins do have knees. They're just inside their body. I learned this recently. I'm
I
just
don't
trying
think
to think
that's
of.
true, actually.
Do you want me to Google it?
Yep.
They're like.
What would they possibly need?
I'm looking at some cute
Knees.
shoes here.
They're kind of known
Penguin
for
skeletons.
waddling.
Let's do that because we haven't. This is not how you spell either of these words. Skeleton.
And because it's spooky season.
It's spooky season. That's what I'm saying.
Ooh,
That's not how you spell. There it is.
yuck.
That is very rude.
is
First of all,
terrifying.
I'm trying to see. Here's like the whole.
Where are their knees?
Their knees right there.
Show Casey real
So
quick.
they
And
don't-
and the camera.
I'm gonna slide this. That's a spooky looking skeleton.
Uh-oh.
Really, really committing for this skeleton. See, they're like
Penguins
inside
have
their body, so they
knees.
waddle because they can't actually like use them. So some animal expert, please tell me I'm wrong, but they waddle because their knees are like up here inside their guts.
Oh, I get it. I
So
actually
they
can relate to
exist.
that. I have a very short I have a very short torso and I have long
Torso.
legs. So when I'm sitting like I am right now, I look like people probably look at me sitting down and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know how tall he is. He's probably 5'7", 5'8". And then I stand up and they're like, "Whoa, I didn't really see that coming."
That's what I just did.
Yeah,
though,
you
too.
did that before we started the podcast. You're like, "You're not 6'1". And
He's
then I
6'1".
stood up and she's like, "Oh."
He also had the top hat on. which
And it's
makes him, like,
actually really
6'8".
tough for me to find pants
Ooh.
because I have a thin waist. I'm a 31, 33, which is a rare size. But if you go to Express for Men in the mall,
Matt Urjabic.
their mannequins are a 31, 33.
You literally have to take the mannequin.
Uh-huh. And it's the best part is that I
Okay.
go in there and I'm like, "Do you guys have these pair of pants in a 31, 33?" And the young girl will be like, "Nope, I don't see it on the shelf." I'm like, "Yeah, you do." I'm like, "Check the mannequin." And
Ooh,
she's
honey.
like, "Well, I mean, I don't think that will I'm like, "Check the mannequin." And she'll check it and she'll
Oh my gosh.
it's a 31, 33. And I was like, "Yeah."
They probably think you're like secret shopping them, and she's gonna lose her job now.
No, so
Does that
yeah,
make
they
you
have
feel
to. I've had them. I've had them take the pants off the mannequin right there in the middle of the store,
Why
and
don't you online shop?
because I'm very impatient, and if I gotta wait 2 days for a pair of pants to come, I go nuts. I ordered that Apple Card, and that was like the worst
Ooh.
4 days of my life.
That's
I
actually
was-
very true. I know this as a fact.
I was driving home, checking the mailbox.
You tracked
every
the
2
shipment.
hours,
You
I was
tracked
tracking
it.
it.
Like every day you were like, Millie, it's coming tomorrow.
People would be like, Gage, what's wrong with you today? And I'm like,
Mail didn't show up before
and I don't, you
had
don't
to
want
leave.
to tell people, because when you tell people, when something like that's going on in your life and you tell them about it, I'm the crazy one.
How dare you buy your dogs a hamburger after they
See,
had a hard day?
that's it. People are weird. I think everyone, that's why sometimes when I used to work at the mall, I was assistant manager at Lids.
That's right.
Yeah, big hat guy.
Big hat guy.
And I would love just
But,
watching people, because everybody walks around the mall like, they don't have secrets and they're normal and they don't like toot in the car and what else do people do?
You've made like
Like
3
sneeze in the bathtub. I don't know.
smell asparagus.
Everyone just does
pee.
weird things all the time. Yeah, smell their own pee, and they're like, gross. You smell your pee, and I'm like, listen, if you were
Let me
peeing and
tell
you
you.
smelt your asparagus pee, you
This
would
is-
take an extra sniff. I mean, you would.
If anyone asked me how to describe you, this is how I would describe you. I'm just really interested in asparagus.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, that was my ending note. I have
That
a
was
lot
your
of
ending note?
random facts that I could spew.
There's something that I could say that I said I might bring up on the podcast. Millie didn't want me to.
Gage is really excited about what was Vanessa? Was that the girl that was on before?
2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Okay, the podcast from 2 weeks ago. He talked about how a girl turned him down, and he's really butthurt about it, and
yeah,
it's me,
nice,
and
yeah.
he's making me very uncomfortable.
Well, the good news for you is that a lot fewer people actually get to the very end of the podcast.
That's true.
Well, actually, it's good news for me. I don't know why I keep acting like,
I know.
oh,
I
I'm
don't
going
know
to
why
get
you wanted to tell this to everyone.
I don't know. I think it's good. So, yeah, no, this kind of makes the entire conversation about the dating thing, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable, because you're like, yeah, if I meet somebody who isn't a total piece of shit, maybe I'd be interested in him. And she's just metaphorically hitting me with cars a few
Whoa,
weeks
bam.
ago. Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, I kind of dig you, Millie. And she's like, okay, well, F you, jump off a
Millie
cliff.
just doesn't like dating.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't like dating either.
It's not
I was
worth
just
the
kidding. That was a
stress.
joke. I didn't actually mean it.
Really drunk that night,
Yeah.
Mills.
I did have a bit. To
My
drink that night.
friend Casey did it. Blame
Yeah.
Casey.
Do you ever do that? Oh, that's right. You didn't even go to high school or junior high. I used to do that in junior high. I would if there was a girl I had a crush on, I would send her a text and be like, I dig you. And then she would be like, I don't really see you like
Was
that.
that middle school Gage voice? Dig you.
Yeah. I dig
Sounds
you.
like a 20-year
Yeah,
smoker.
Yeah. But and then I would text him back and be like, ha 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 ha, just kidding. Or not just kidding. I would go, ha ha ha. Oh man, Jake took my phone and
I'm
sent
sorry,
that to
that
you.
was Casey.
I'm sorry. And then, yeah.
No, I never
And then
did
you'd
that.
think you'd get away with it, but
I don't think I ever did that.
Yeah, so that was the one thing I wanted to really get across, was that Millie turned me down a few weeks ago. It's been
Millie for
really-
president 2019.
It's been tough.
Are you depressed?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not depressed.
Well, the ceiling in here looks pretty neat today.
I'm just kidding. Thanks for coming on,
Got
Millie. High
some
five. We got your
great-
high five. Great podcast. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. If you need video work, Casey Flipson is your guy.
Is this your number, Casey?
And I think that's it. I think that's it.
Okay, don't call this number.
I am about to go wee-wee in my pantaloons. I think I have to pee so bad.
That's where we ended.
Oh, man.